There is a library in this world that only special kids can find. And once they do, well, their lives are never quite the same again. You see, this library isn't like any other. All of its books are real portals. Each one leads to a different world. And if a kid dares to read them, well, they get sucked right inside. It's said that there's a portal for every story in existence, and some stories are wild. There are adventures and mysteries, comedies and tragedies, fairy tales and epics. But here's the catch. Once you step into a story, you have to finish it before you can come back home. The story will play out around you, and you lines be swept up in it whether you want to be or not. You might be a brave knight, a powerful wizard, even a lowly peasant girl who just wants to help her village. But however your story starts, it's up to you to see it through to the end. And believe me, some stories can take a long time to finish. They say some kids have gotten stuck in a book for weeks or even months. And when they finally return home, nobody knows what kind of hero they've become. Will they be humble and kind or too cocky and full of themselves? The scariest part is that nobody really knows how to find this library. Some say it only appears to kids who are going through a tough time. Others say it shows up for kids who need a little bit of magic in their lives. Whatever the truth may be, all we know for sure is that it only appears at midnight. And when it does, it's up to each kid to decide if they want to go inside or not. Now, I don't usually tell ghost stories, but there's something about this one that chills me to the bone. Are you brave enough to listen? If so, let me lead you into the shadows and we'll uncover this mystery together. Just remember, though, that once we step foot inside the Phantom Library, we have to finish whatever story we choose. And I wouldn't be surprised if it took us away from everything we know and love for weeks, months, or maybe even years. So, are you still with me? Good. Then, let's go. We found the library on a night much like any other. It was cold and windy outside, but inside our house, it was warm and cozy. We were snuggled up on the sofa watching TV when suddenly the lights went out. At first, we didn't think much of it. We figured it was just a power cut that would be fixed in a jiffy. But as the minutes dragged on, we started to worry. Just then, my brother and I heard a noise downstairs. It sounded like footsteps. We called out, "Who's there?" But the only answer was silence. That's when we decided to investigate. Armed with nothing but a flashlight, we crept down the stairs and into the living room. To our surprise, there in the corner, we saw a bookshelf that wasn't there before. It looked ancient with its dark wood and leather-bound books. And as we got closer, we could feel a strange energy coming from it. My brother and I exchanged nervous glances. We didn't know what to do. Should we touch it? Was it dangerous? Suddenly, the bookshelf began to glow and a voice boomed, "Enter if you dare." My brother and I looked at each other again. This was crazy. Was this some kind of prank? But before we could decide what to do, the bookshelf vanished, revealing a secret passageway behind it. My brother and I hesitated for a moment, but then curiosity got the better of us and we stepped inside. The passageway was dark and narrow, but after what felt like forever, it opened up into a large, airy room. We had entered the Phantom Library. The library was huge, with shelves that stretched as far as we could see and filled with countless books. In the center of the room was a large, ornately carved desk, and behind it sat a mysterious old man. He looked up as we entered, and a knowing smile spread across his face. "Ah, you must be the ones I've been expecting," he said. "I am the keeper of this library, and these are the books of stories. Each one contains a world of its own, and when you read them, you become a part of the story." My brother and I exchanged nervous glances again. This was also surreal. Were we dreaming? Had we stumbled into some kind of fantasy world? Before we could ask any questions, the old man continued. You may choose any story you wish to read, but be warned, once you do, you cannot return home until the story is finished. You will live the story. You will become the story. My brother and I looked at the books in front of us. Each one seemed to be calling to us, beckoning us to open it and discover the world within. There were stories of adventure and mystery, comedy and tragedy. There were fairy tales and epics, and as we stood there indecisively, the old man spoke again. Choose wisely, young ones, for the stories contained within these books are not to be taken lightly. They are powerful and they are real. We thought long and hard about what the old man had told us. We knew that once we chose a story, we would be trapped inside it until it was finished. But we also couldn't resist the allure of the unknown. The stories were like magnets, and we were drawn to them. Finally, my brother reached out and grabbed a book. Its cover was blank, but as he opened it, the pages came alive with images of a young knight on a quest to slay a fearsome dragon. My brother and I looked at each other, and without another word, we began to read. The story was thrilling. We followed the young knight as he battled fearsome beasts, solved tricky riddles, and made new friends along the way. As we read, we could feel ourselves being drawn into the story. We could almost feel the wind on our faces and the sun on our skin. We could hear the clash of swords and the roar of dragons. And as the story reached its climax, we could feel our hearts pounding in our chests. But then suddenly, the book went black and the story stopped. My brother and I looked at each other in disbelief. What had happened? Had we finished the story? We turned the page, but it was blank. And then we heard a voice. Well done, young ones. You have finished the story. We turned around and saw the old man standing behind us. You have proven yourselves to be worthy readers, and now you may return home. We couldn't believe it. We had actually finished a story, and as the old man waved his magic wand, we were transported back to our own world. The bookshelf was gone, but the memories of our adventure remained. My brother and I knew that we would never forget our time in the Phantom Library. Now, I don't usually tell ghost stories, but sometimes a good scare is just what we need to remind us of the importance of family, friendship, and bravery. And this story reminds us that even in the darkest of times, a little bit of magic can make all the difference. Remember, no matter what challenges you face in life, you have the power to overcome them. All you need is a little bit of courage and a lot of heart. And speaking of courage and heart, I want to give a big shout out to all of our viewers who are always so supportive of our work. You guys are the real heroes of this story, and we wouldn't be where we are today without you. So thank you so much for watching and for being a part of our story. Now it's time for you to choose your own adventure. What story would you pick from the Phantom Library? Would you rather live out an epic fantasy or a hilarious comedy? Maybe you'd like to solve a mystery or go on an exciting adventure. Let us know in the comments below. And if you liked this story, don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe so you never miss out on any of our spooky tales. Until next time, happy reading.